Hey, we're here with Jim and Scott from Train. Thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. I was telling Jim before we started that I remembered back to, I think, 97, the summer of 97, I was at Horde in Canandaigua, New York, and I picked up your indie release, and they said, this is a band to watch back
really?
back in 97. And so you guys have been around for a while, and you took a bit of a hiatus, I guess, a self-imposed hiatus?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I mean, like you said, we've been around doing it for a while. We've been a band 15 years, and for like 10 of those years at the beginning, it was pretty much nonstop, you know, a cycle of recording a record and going on tour, and then make a record, go on tour, and we needed a break from each other, from our fans. You know, I think we kind of, I don't know, maybe got to a point where we had taken some things for granted and needed to take a step away from it for a while to appreciate what we have, you know.
In that short time, though, that you took the hiatus, so much of the music industry has changed, and all things like even social networking, we didn't have that, you know, 3 years ago. How important has that been to coming back and making a new record? I mean, this record's been out for a while, but it's gathered some steam over the 9 months or so that it's been out, and some of that's attributable to social networking, right?
Yeah, that and a smash hit song that we have on the radio.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I mean, the social networking thing is amazing. Twitter and Facebook, we're all very involved in that, and it took me a while to get Scott on the Facebook bandwagon, but now he's I see him on there every day.
I twit.
You twit?
Yeah, I'll get into it. I don't know what to say though. You know what I mean? Because I feel foolish saying like I'm eating a bagel.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you see people say that, and I guess sometimes it's interesting. If it's Jim Carrey eating a bagel, I'm like, cool.
Well, but your fans probably think of you the way you think of Jim Carrey, right?
Well, maybe. I mean, it's hard for me to think of myself that way, or that anybody would be interested in anything I'm doing. But these guys are encouraging me.
Well, that's good. So you're getting there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Hey Soul Sister, because it is a monster hit, and probably you don't plan for that. I mean, Drops of Jupiter was so big, and Hey Soul Sister's almost as big, probably is as big as that.
It's sold twice as many copies already in 6 months. And Drops of Jupiter was the most played, or second most played song at radio for the last decade.
Yeah.
And Soul Sister's already passed it in sales. It's crazy.
I guess anytime you can rhyme Mr. with sister, you probably have a hit, right?
Yeah,
good formula.
You know, I tried to talk him into Blister, but he didn't go for it.
How is the writing process? is the writing process collaborative, or is it Pete comes to you guys with lyrics and then you sit down and put music to the lyrics, or how does it all work?
Well, we've done it in all different ways. Like historically, we all the musicians in the band write music, and we'll send Pat, you know, individual tracks here and there, or we'll collectively like jam something out. But this record in particular was much different because we did that process, but as also sort of allowed Pat this time to write with outside writers. You know, it's pretty heavy load how much material we have to write, so it just was really helpful to have these outside guys write in who are just world-class music writers. And the results were, you know, fantastic when we would hear what Pat would come back with. You know, there was no denying that it was great music.
I mean, you know, after all these years of, you know, being a band and having, you know, a certain level of success like we've had, there have been writers that have wanted to write with us for years, but we've always kind of had closed doors to it, you know, and like, let's just keep it in the band, you know. But with this record, you know, like Scott said, we had to compile so much material that we decided to just kind of, let's be open. Let's change the way we've done things before and open the doors a little bit and try some new things.
So is there going to be a Save Me San Francisco Part 2 because you have all this?
Man, there certainly could be. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of really good material that didn't make the record.
Yeah. I Got You is an interesting track because you, without sampling, you're borrowing from two pretty huge hits, the Doobie Brothers tune and the Little Feat tune.
Wait, there's Little Feat in there?
Yeah.
What is it?
Chicken.
I don't think we cleared that one.
What is it?
I thought it was Dixie Chicken.
Oh no! That's all Doobie Brothers.
It's all Doobie Brothers.
Yeah. Yep. And actually, the Doobie Brothers.
Sorry.
They have a third of the writing on that song.
What are some of the bands or songs that influence you guys? We ask everybody who sits down with us to tell us about 5 albums that they can't live without.
Wow.
And I imagine it's a fairly eclectic mix for a band like yourselves. But
Yeah.
I bet we'd name like 5 different.
Well, let's do
albums.
it. Let's try
Yeah.
it.
What
Go
would your
ahead.
5 be? You can't live without.
These
5 on an
these
island.
questions are really hard for me. Well, of course, I would have to have some Led Zeppelin.
Right.
Which one?
I don't want to pick one. This will take all day. I can't. My recall is just broken. But let's just say Led Zeppelin. I love Bob Dylan records. I would say I don't know what else. See, this is going to take me forever. I just like so much different. So, I mean, I listen to Vangelis and weird, far out shit. I mean,
That's good.
Oh, stuff.
No, it's fine.
So, let me put it this way. You think about your 5. I know when we're writing music, a lot of times we sort of might reference like a U2 song or something that's been like an epic, meaningful hit. And we'll just think like, it's just helpful to sort of reference music. And I'm not saying we really emulate it or rip it off, but we just use it as sort of a template or an idea, a way to spawn some, ideas here and there. And we collectively as a band, we like such different types of music,
Right.
the 3 of us. Jimmy and I tend to like a lot of the same stuff. Like we love Radiohead and things like that. Right now we're into a band called the Broken Bells.
Right.
And Pat tends to stay more in the really sort of mainstream pop world.
Really?
Yeah, with what he listens to.
I guess that helps when you're writing a hit,
Yeah.
hit single,
Yeah.
right?
But we all love, as a band, Led Zeppelin. That was one common ground that we all love. And each of us love those musicians. Like Pat loves Robert Plant, Jimmy loves Jimmy Page, and I love John Bonham. And,
Right.
and we can emulate them pretty well.
Were you guys in the Zeppelin band that Pat was in before?
No,
He was
and
Pennsylvania.
I don't even think he was. Like, I don't know where that. I think, we all have Zeppelin in common. Like
Most
Scott
people
said.
probably
Like
do.
most people do. But and we have covered Zeppelin tunes in our shows
Right.
throughout the years. And I think somewhere in an interview that got like misinterpreted as that we were in a Zeppelin cover band before.
Right.
But I don't think we were all in cover bands, early on. And probably all played Zeppelin songs in our cover bands, but I don't think any of us were actually in like a Zeppelin tribute band or anything like that.